Hi guys, welcome to my new video series called TFSA, where we talk about all things tax-free savings account. The reason for this series is because I want to help you on your TFSA journey. Reason being, it's been 3 years that I've been living in Canada, almost 3 years living in Canada. I've worked alongside young students who grew up here. I work with middle-aged people who grew up here, even towards the older age people, and also immigrants like myself and international students who are trying to build a life here. They all share one common problem. They don't have a tax-free savings account. A tax-free savings account is something introduced by the government back in 2009, 2011. I can't remember the history of it. I'll put some link into it. It's to allow you to save money or invest your money tax-free, right? Because everything in Canada is taxed. Your income is taxed. After you are taxed by your income, your petrol is taxed, your food is taxed. Basically, what they say, Canadians are taxed to death, right? So the tax-free savings account, it is the one place that you can save your money and your gains are not taxable, all right? There's of course some contribution room that you have to adhere to, and you have to monitor how you are moving your money in and out, right? So we'll cover all of that throughout this video series. But before we dive any deeper into the series, I'd like to give you some context about myself as an investor, so you know whether you really want to listen to me or not moving forward, right? So my savings and investment journey started off in 2009, where I started trading stocks alongside my dad. But given my dad is my closest mentor, I mirrored a lot of his techniques, right? He's a good father. He works very hard for the family. Of course, he wants to make more money in a faster period, right? So a lot of people, they are timing the market, which is a big no-no in this series. We want to build wealth, right? So again, back to my story. So you know what to avoid, what to take out of it. I was investing in single stocks. I made some good profits, but I made a lot more bad decisions, which made me very agitated in life, very irritated. My mental health took a plunge in 2018. But given that life goes on, you have to put on a strong face, work, because when the market crash, but when you look around, when you go to work, tomorrow is just another day, right? My relationship suffered as well. My then girlfriend, now wife, when I shared a problem, she couldn't really relate to it, and she sometimes get irritated by it because to her it's quite a logical problem to overstep or move from. But it's not easy for everyone, right? That's back in 2018, 2019, 2020, when COVID hit in Malaysia. The government didn't know what to do, so the government said, hey, you are allowed to take out some of your retirement savings to fund your life, because a lot of people they lose their jobs. Some people had to work from home, so I took out the max of it, I think 30,000, and then I again repeatedly make the same investment mistakes, or stock trading mistakes to be exact, that I lost a lot of my money, right? So a lot of bad decisions, which brings me to my first life advice to you guys, is that there is no such thing as a rock bottom in life, all right? People can tell you, the movies can say, oh, it's rock bottom, things will go better from here, things will get better. But if you keep making bad decisions in life, do you think it's gonna get better? Not a chance, right? For me, when I was contemplating and I was stuck in this mental drift back then with all these stock losses, I always said, oh, fuck, this is like a bottomless pit, a bottomless abyss, right? You keep falling, you keep making the same mistakes, just keep losing. So fast forward to 2023, my wife and I landed in Canada, right? We brought all our savings over to start a new life, right? No families here, no friends. Then I got a job. My wife already got a job when she came over. Then I started my tax-free savings account in September 2023, 6 months after landing, because I watch a lot of TikTok. People were talking about this TFSA, because you keep scrolling, right? Then the people talk about this 3-letter word things that I don't understand at that time, right? QQC, VFB, or XCQT. Lots of it. I was like, what is this? Right, ETFs was very new to me, right? But I didn't want to touch it because I didn't understand it. So I went to the bank, and Scotiabank was my bank, and I told the banker, hey, I want to open a tax-free savings account. she was very nice. She helped me. Then you talk about your risk tolerance, right? Because that's how the bank want to help you to ensure where your money is going and how good you can stomach risk. So given all my trauma that I just mentioned just now, I told her I want something a bit more conventional. Then she said, oh, why don't you take a monthly income fund, which is something that you put money every month. Then every month it gives you some money back based on how much capital there is in it. I'm like, okay, that was a good start, right? I did that for a while. Then fast forward again, I came back from Malaysia. I went to Malaysia, then I came back. Then I dabbled in more aggressive funds, which is the Nasdaq fund, which is also still a mutual fund, right? This is not ETFs yet. It was doing very well, and then fast forward to today, right? Fast forward to today, I moved out of mutual funds and into ETFs. Right? In the coming episodes of this series, I'll talk about people that I've met and managed to convince into starting their TFSA. We have the success stories, the work in progress, the ghosts, and the old ones, right? So, got a quick preview. I managed to get about 2-3% started. I got people who say, I don't have the time, I'm very busy. Then I have the middle-aged people. I'm like, yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't do anything about it. Then I have someone older who's like, I just started my TFSA a few years ago, okay? Given that the fact he's already started receiving his pension fund, his CPP, but he's only started TFSA recently. Besides talking about the people that I've met, I'll be also talking about my portfolio and how it has evolved from 2023 to 2025 in more detail. Not all the time. Maybe it will also help you build your foundation to start your TFSA. It can be $10 a month, it can be $10 a week, it can be $10 a day, or 5 or 1 for that matter. The fact is you need to start, especially for people who are younger, age 18, because that's where you can start. In your early 20s or your late 20s, right? As long as you start early. Don't be like me, being at 37, okay, -2 when I reached Canada. I started at 35. I had to restart my whole investment journey again, right? If you watch some other YouTube videos about compounding interest, right? Okay, I'm not going to repeat a lot of those YouTubers. Compounding interest, you start at 20, you start at 30, you're going to be about $1 million in difference, right? Of course, inflation and stuff, that's another story altogether. But don't make the same mistake I did. I want you to start early, put money in, buy a very safe investment vehicle. It doesn't have to be Nvidia, don't chase it, because if your heart can't take it, then you're gonna be in trouble like me, like how I mentioned. Start safe, build, and notice the difference between just leaving your money in the checking account earning nothing, or living in the savings account in the big bank earning close to nothing, versus putting it in a ETF such as VDY, which has done very well. Maybe gives you about 5 to 7%, yield plus growth. All right, we will talk more about that in the coming episodes. So stay tuned for more content in the coming weeks. I hope to push this out as consistently as I can, given that January will be a bit of a slow month for work, so I can dive into my content creation a bit more. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon. Take care.